There's been snow at the Olympics and on the roads of southern France. Yes, this week's Gruppetto is dominated by the weather, so I've sought cover in the studio to tell you all about Tom Pidcock's return to action and plenty more. No medals here, but the early season weather in professional cycling has been just as wintry as at the Games. But never fear, after news of cancellations and call-offs, there's desert sunshine on the way soon for the peloton.
For most of the time, the sun was shining in Murcia, but with extreme weather warnings for wind, the first of two planned stages was shortened to just 83 kilometres. That change, however, didn't shorten the excitement. Tom Pidcock and several opposition stars were racing for the first time this season. Hello, this changes things. Wellens is here, the big sign of go, go, go from Soler to Johansson. Pidcock, for them now, if they can extend it, is put out the game. Look at this, it's two-up stuff from Soler and Johansson. They're flying for UAE. Marc Soler has decided he is going for it. Here's Pidcock. Looks as though he's managed to drop those behind. That's good news for Tom Pidcock fans. But Pidcock is certainly proving that his form is there after that altitude camp in Chile. A two-up time trial in the wind coming from left, right, behind and in front. And when it went uphill, only one man could do the business. His name, yet again, is Marc Soler. So Marc Soler did the business in Yekla, and UAE Emirates put 5 riders in the top 10. Pidcock looked good after his altitude stint in South America, but was he pleased?
I think a big problem today, we struggled with our radios a little bit. And then when Tim attacked, I was taking a gel. And then it was a bit late, and then in front they went full gas, and actually in the end, it was so fast. You can't bring back this time gap, and they did a perfect race really. But to be honest, pretty happy with my legs, how I felt there in the end. First race, so can't complain too much, but we got outsmarted today.
After having first given it a try, the whole bunch was less optimistic about racing the following day. The wind was once again howling, with riders blown off the road and forced to stop after a short period in the saddle.
Well,
it was the wind. We know that there was going to be an orange alert in Murcia for the weather and the wind, so there was doubt as to whether we could start. We tried. The wind, though, started to pick up. Riders were being pushed off the road. And with the circuit and the lap that we were doing, the safety conditions were not good. An unfortunate turn of events, given that the Vuelta Murcia was back to being a multi-day stage race for the first time in 6 years. The route was meant to include the usual Cresta del Gallo climb before a finish in Santomera. But a strange neutralised, but perhaps not quite neutralised 10Ks around the finish town was a nod to the organisers' efforts. We didn't quite know, however, what we were watching. Emils Liepens won, in inverted commas, a sprint, again in inverted commas. What we do know is that Marc Soler definitely won whatever the race will finally be classed as being. One day or stage race. One-day racing proper in Spain continued the long run of early season races in the southwest of Europe. The usual route to holiday resort Roquetas de Mar had sprinters teams keeping a 5-man move in check. At the end of the 190-kilometre race, the usual fast finish ensued, and Biniam Girmay was the best. A second win of the season for the NSN man. On the other side of the Iberian Peninsula, the still relatively young Figueira Champions Classic was won yet again by a young home talent. Portugal's early season highlight is based around the difficult circuit in Figueira de Foz. After aggressive, attacking racing, a dramatic 2-up drag race to the finish saw Antonio Morgado beat Alex Aramburu. The 22-year-old Portuguese has started 2026 in the form of his life. From 7 days already, the winner of 2 races, and he's yet to end a day outside of the top 8.
The Tour de la Provence took place from Friday to Sunday. 3 days, 543 kilometres, all in the south of France. It was ridden over 3 contrasting stages. There were breakaways, bold climbing performances and a showdown for the general classification.
Often sun-soaked, even at this time of year, the region continued the bad weather theme that has dominated this week's racing. Beginning in Marseille, the opening day soaked the bunch in rain as they tried to chase down a strong breakaway. The remaining 2 riders refused to let up. Italian Mattia Bais has spent a whole career trying to take a win from an early move. And in the company of a rider from the sport's 3rd division, not overly well known to most watchers, he had his chance. However, after 140 kilometres in the lead, the peloton was closing in. In a thrilling finish, 23-year-old Swiss rider Arnaud Tondon gave a masterclass in reading the race, his opponent, and timing the effort to perfection. The sprinters' teams didn't quite get organised enough in time, and for the second successive week, a rider from continental level Van Rijssel-Roubaix won a race against some of the biggest teams in the sport. A dream start to the season for the French domestic squad, who at the time of crossing the line here had as many wins in 2026 as any of the nation's big international powerhouses. That statistic would change on Saturday, however. Decathlon were on the money, and their new signing, Matthew Riccitello, opened his account with his new team. Despite snow-lined roads and sub-zero winds, the fireworks were flying on Montagne de Lourdes. Young American climber Riccitello matched attacks aplenty and outsprinted Carlos Rodriguez right at the summit to take the win and the race lead. Following that show of strength and tactical know-how, the final stage was all about control for the race leader. A long 200-plus kilometre stage to Arles looked set to end in a sprint, but some had other ideas. Here's Matt Stevens to call it home.
Oh, here we go. That's where you need to do your homework on the roundabouts.
Well, he's taken the short route. Yep. That was a smart move, very smart move indeed. I think the race was supposed to go in that direction, so Laurence hasn't needed to leave it to a sprint. He's gone clear. He's turning a huge gear up this little bit of a drag now. 4 seconds, Arles is still second place on the road. Oman, Luleos and the rest are just behind. Can the Frenchman hold on? This will be a superb victory, a smart victory, a strong one as well. The bunch now are languishing at 40 seconds. But the big question is, can the Frenchman hold on? Remember, it's a slight drag to the line, and it's a block headwind finish as well. But it looks like the gap on the road is going to be enough. But 800 metres is going to be 800 metres of sheer pain for the Frenchman now.
See him take the last corner there, Matt. It's about 500 metres to go now. It looks good. It looks like he's going to do it.
Well, Axel Laurence looks like he's going to take this one unless something special happens from behind. He will be starting to tie up. His lungs are going to be burning. His heart is going to be racing. His legs are going to be on fire, but he's out of the saddle again just to try and make sure on the hoods as well. This is a slight drag to the line. There's the peloton behind. Group behind in second place. 200 metres to go. Axel Laurence looks like he's going to take his first win of the year. They've had a great start to the season of the Ineos Grenadiers, but it is indeed going to be the man from Calais, 24 years of age. Axel Laurence, the Frenchman on home soil, takes the win. Look at the delight on the man. Superb win for Axel Laurence of the Ineos Grenadiers.
I just went as hard as I could from the back, and yeah, then in the final, I went left for the roundabout, and I saw that the group was coming back, so I just let him first, and then I went on the right side, and yeah, I made my attack there. So it was really a surprise for him, I think, and yeah, then I just went all in until the finish, and I think on this kind of breakaway, everybody think I'm the fastest, but I always need to find another solution to win.
Now, the third week in February's become one of the biggest stage racing weeks of the spring. It's not quite at Paris-Nice and Tirreno Adriatico level, but 3 super stage races mean stacked fields and big names appearing for the first time this season. To see Pogacar and Vingegaard, we'll have to wait a little. The latter was meant to start, but a training crash put him back a little in his preparation. The UAE Tour will see Evenepoel look for victory once again. And with a time trial and 2 mountaintop finishes, he'll be favourite versus Del Toro, who'll have the support of Yates. G West rides for his new team against Tiberi, and both continue their build-up to the Giro. One of those mountains on the route is brand new to the race. Yes, Jebel Mobra, 13 kilometres long with an average gradient of 8% plus. It's much more difficult than the usual early climb in the race, Jebel Jais. In the Algarve, the Classics build-up moves a gear up, and it moves for a Classics team hoping to be reborn. Monument-winning new signings from Bala and Sturven will make their Soudal-QuickStep debuts. And talking of new starts in different colours, there'll be plenty of attention on Ayuso. He begins life at Lidl Trek as one of the favourites for overall victory in the south of Portugal. The 5-day race starts on Wednesday. It includes the usual finishes uphill at Foya and Mayal, and other GC stars to watch at Almeida and Only, the latter making his first start as an Ineos Grenadier. Andalusia is where Pidcock will target the GC for the first time since his superb Grand Tour podium in Spain. The absence of a time trial is good news for his hopes against a solid-looking UAE, Groupama, Red Bull and Uno X. For those of you watching on YouTube, we'd love to see your predictions for a bumper early season race week. Who'll win in the UAE, Algarve and Andalusia? Post them in the comments section below. And for those of you watching on the telly, subscribe to our TNT Sports YouTube channel to be able to see what your fellow fans think. As you can see, there's super stage racing each and every day next week. All that to slot in alongside your Winter Olympic viewing on TNT Sports and Discovery+. And when that's all over, be sure not to miss next week's Gruppetto. I'll be joined by a very special superfan guest. Until then, shelter from the weather, enjoy the racing. Goodbye.